Here's a fact most men don't know. You can be average looking, have no flashy lifestyle, and still attract women just by mastering how you talk to them. The way you speak can either draw her in or make her want to walk away immediately. The secret, it's not about using the right pickup line. It's about understanding her psychology and sparking emotions most men can't. Keep watching, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Most men think they have to impress women by bragging, cracking jokes, or having a perfect script. But here's the hard truth. None of that matters if you don't know how to truly connect with her in a conversation. Women don't just hear your words, they feel them. If you're not making her feel intrigued, understood, and excited, you'll fade into the background like every other guy. But don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to create conversations that naturally pull her in and leave her thinking about you long after. There's something most men don't realize about attracting women. It's not about how much money you have, how good you look, or even how well dressed you are. Sure, those things might get her to notice you for a moment, but they won't make her stay. The real key lies in how you make her feel when you talk to her. Imagine this. You meet a woman at a party. She's surrounded by guys competing for her attention, throwing out compliments, and trying to impress her with stories about their lives. Most of these guys think they're doing something right. But what happens? She laughs politely, nods along, and then forgets about them the moment they walk away. Why? Because there was nothing memorable about the conversation, nothing that stirred her emotions or made her truly feel connected. Here's what you need to know. Conversation is a dance. It's not about domination or submission. It's about flow. Most men approach conversations with women as if it's an interview or a game to win her over. They focus on impressing her or overthinking their next sentence. But what they fail to do is listen. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to picking up on energy. If you're not present in the moment, if your words feel rehearsed or shallow, she'll feel it immediately. On the flip side, when you show genuine interest, respond in the moment, and create a rhythm with your words, she'll feel a pull toward you, sometimes even before she realizes why. The biggest mistake men make is focusing too much on themselves during a conversation. They think, what can I say to make her like me? How can I prove that I'm worth her attention? But this approach makes you appear insecure and self-centered, even if that's not your intention. Here's the trick. Shift your focus entirely to her. Pay attention to the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves, or the way her tone changes when she feels passionate about a topic. Show her that you're fully engaged, not by trying to fix her problems or impress her, but by simply being present. But being present isn't just about nodding and saying, wow, every now and then. It's about actively listening and reflecting her emotions back to her. For example, if she's sharing a story about a challenge she overcame, instead of jumping in with your own story, say something like, that must have been intense. How did you handle it? This simple shift keeps the conversation centered on her and shows that you're genuinely interested, which most men fail to do. Another key part of mastering conversations is learning to read between the lines. Women often communicate through subtle hints or emotions, rather than straightforward words. They might not say, I want you to lead the conversation. But if she's hesitant or giving short answers, it's often an invitation for you to take control in a confident, relaxed way. Confidence doesn't mean dominating the conversation. It means steering it with purpose, like a captain guiding the ship while making sure everyone's enjoying the ride. Here's where most men miss the mark. They think being a good conversationalist is about always knowing the perfect thing to say. But in reality, it's more about how you say things than what you say. A woman doesn't want a flawless monologue. She wants to feel an emotional connection. Your tone of voice, the pauses you take, and even your body language all play a massive role. For example, if you're overly eager speaking quickly or rushing to fill every silence, it can come across as nervousness or a lack of confidence. On the other hand, a calm, measured tone shows you're comfortable in your own skin, and that kind of energy is magnetic. Speaking of pauses, Never underestimate the power of silence. Most men feel like they need to fill every gap in a conversation, but the truth is, silence can be your ally. A well-placed pause creates intrigue and gives her room to process what you've said. For instance, if you compliment her on something unique, like her sense of humor or perspective, don't follow it up with another comment immediately. Let the moment breathe. Silence adds weight to your words, making them more impactful. Women appreciate men who are confident enough to sit with silence rather than scrambling to keep talking. Another crucial aspect of mastering conversation is knowing how to balance curiosity and mystery. Curiosity shows that you're genuinely interested in her thoughts, opinions, and experiences. But mystery keeps her wanting more. If you overshare right away, dumping your life story into the conversation, you might come across as trying too hard or even desperate for validation. Instead, reveal parts of yourself slowly. Share enough to intrigue her, but hold back just enough to make her wonder. For example, if she asks about your hobbies, don't just list them all out. Tease her curiosity. Say something like, I've got this one hobby most people wouldn't guess about me. You'd never believe it. And then wait. This invites her to lean in, ask questions, and invest in the conversation. The same principle applies to storytelling. If you can tell a story in a way that hooks her attention, you'll keep her engaged. But make sure the story ties back to the present moment or reveals something interesting about you. For example, don't just talk about a trip you took to another country. Share how the experience changed your perspective or challenged you in some way. Frame it in a way that's relatable, something she can connect to her own experiences. And here's the key: don't monopolize the conversation with endless stories about yourself. Every story you share should act as a bridge, inviting her to share something about herself in return. Now, let's talk about humor. Humor is one of the fastest ways to build rapport with a woman, but it's also an area where many men overdo it. Making her laugh doesn't mean being a clown or trying too hard to impress her with jokes. Instead, focus on playful teasing and shared laughs. Women love men who can poke fun at themselves in a lighthearted way without coming across as insecure. For instance, if she compliments your style, you might say something like, "Don't let this fool you. I have no idea how to match socks." It's simple, light, and gives her a reason to smile. Humor is also a great way to navigate those moments when a conversation might feel a little awkward or when you need to reset the energy. Let's say there's a pause or she seems distracted. Instead of panicking or forcing the conversation, try something playful. Okay, quick question. If you could live as any movie character for a day, who would it be? I'm fully expecting something outrageous. This not only lightens the mood, but also transitions the conversation back into a fun, engaging space. One of the most powerful tools you can use in any conversation is the art of emotional mirroring. This doesn't mean copying her emotions outright. It's about reflecting her energy in a subtle, authentic way. When a woman feels like you're on the same wavelength as her, it creates an unspoken bond that words alone can't replicate. For example, if she's speaking passionately about a topic, match her enthusiasm. If she's being more reflective, lower your tone and lean into that vibe. This mirroring makes her feel understood on a deeper level, which is something most men never accomplish. But it's not just about emotions, it's also about pacing. Conversations are like music. They have a rhythm. If she's sharing something deeply personal and you abruptly jump topics, it disrupts that flow. Instead, build on her points, add layers, and take your time to explore the subject further. For example, if she's talking about her childhood dreams, don't just nod and move on. Dive in with curiosity. That's fascinating. What made you dream about that as a kid? Did anyone inspire you? This keeps her engaged because it shows you're paying attention and care about the details she's sharing. At the same time, it's critical to sprinkle in light challenges throughout the conversation. When everything you say is agreeable, it can feel predictable and uninspiring. Women are naturally drawn to men who challenge them in a playful way because it creates an exciting dynamic. For instance, if she mentions that she's into a popular TV show, instead of just saying, "Me too," you could playfully disagree. "Ah, that show? I don't know. Are you sure it's not just a guilty pleasure?" Done right, it creates an opportunity for banter and sparks that back and forth connection that keeps things lively. Here's where a lot of men falter. They think being interesting means being big, talking about dramatic stories, grand achievements, or anything flashy to keep the conversation alive. But often, it's the small, relatable moments that create the strongest connections. You can bond over how terrible Monday mornings feel, a funny coincidence you've noticed about people, or even her unusual coffee order. These seemingly simple topics can make the interaction feel effortless and comfortable, which often leads to deeper emotional connections. One underrated yet highly effective way to steer a conversation is by using open ended questions. These kinds of questions give her the space to open up and share more about herself, but avoid generic ones like, "What do you do for fun?" Instead, frame questions in an intriguing or unexpected way. For example, instead of asking her favorite vacation spot, say, "If you could teleport to any place right now, where would you go and why?" This makes the conversation feel less like a checklist and more like a shared adventure of ideas. Another crucial point is knowing how to handle moments of tension. Not every conversation will flow smoothly from start to finish. Sometimes she might challenge you, push back on something you've said, or even test your confidence. These moments aren't something to avoid. They're opportunities to show your composure. If she says something provocative or teasing, don't get defensive. Instead, lean into it with playful confidence. For example, if she says, "You think you're smooth, don't you?" You can smile and respond with something like, "You noticed?" This disarms tension and keeps the energy playful rather than confrontational. Women often test men during conversations, not to frustrate them, but to see how they'll respond under pressure. Passing these tests doesn't require overthinking or trying to outwit her. It's about staying calm, confident, and not taking things too seriously. Show that you're comfortable in your skin, and she'll naturally feel more drawn to you. As you become more confident in conversations, one of the most powerful shifts you'll notice is your ability to steer the interaction naturally. This isn't about controlling her or dominating the conversation. It's about setting a tone that makes her feel comfortable, curious, and engaged. A great way to do this is by introducing topics that spark emotions. Think about it. Emotions are what create memorable moments. It's if you can make her laugh, surprise her, or even challenge her in a way that feels exciting, she'll associate those positive feelings with you. For instance, if you're talking about travel, don't just discuss generic vacation spots. Ask something unexpected, like, "What's the weirdest experience you've had in a place you visited?" This kind of question invites her to share a personal story while keeping the conversation light and fun. Or, if the moment feels right, dive into deeper, more thought provoking topics like dreams, fears, or what motivates her in life. These discussions can create an emotional bond that's far more powerful than any surface level chatter. While it's important to engage her emotionally, don't forget to sprinkle in subtle compliments, but only when they feel genuine. Generic compliments, like commenting on her looks, are predictable and often come off as insincere. Instead, notice something about her personality, energy, or the way she expresses herself. For example, if she shares an opinion you admire, you could say, "I like the way you think. You've got a unique perspective." This kind of compliment hits deeper because it's specific and shows that you're paying attention to her as an individual. Now, let's talk about handling rejection or disinterest in a conversation. Not every interaction will go the way you want, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond. If she seems uninterested or distracted, Don't chase her attention or try harder to impress her. Instead, gracefully pull back and give her space. Confidence isn't just about what you say, it's also about knowing when to walk away. Ironically, this kind of composure often piques her curiosity and makes her wonder why you're unfazed, which can lead her to engage with you more. The key to mastering conversations with women lies in balance. Be curious, but don't interrogate. Be confident, but not cocky. Be engaging, but don't try too hard. When you strike that balance, your conversations become less about winning her over and more about creating a genuine connection. And here's the real secret: when you can make her feel seen, heard, and valued in a way other men don't, she'll naturally be drawn to you. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation with a woman, don't overthink it. Relax, stay present, and focus on the flow of the interaction. When you let go of trying to control every detail and start enjoying the moment, you'll be amazed at how naturally things fall into place. And when you get this right, you'll notice that the connection you've built isn't just temporary. It leaves a lasting impression she won't forget. Now, before you go, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more powerful techniques like this one.